Good morning, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day, everyone, and God bless you. Alright, let's get into the news this Friday morning. And as divided administration, the binding regime continues to push for World War III with Russia as they continue to push for a nuclear war with them, because of their Ebola money laundering country, Ukraine, as they continue to pump billions of dollars up all the way up to almost $90 billion. We've sent Ukraine as a flush out money through it to make sure it gets to other Democrat and Republican rhino establishment politicians to line their pockets. And to, of course, line their families' and friends' pockets as well. We actually have a real leader standing up and saying, hey, I can help broker a peace deal between everybody if you guys will allow me, and that man, President Donald J. Trump. Of course, most liberals won't recognize that the fact that we actually have a relatively peaceful 4 years in this nation, and as a world under the leadership of Donald Trump, and since the binary illegitimate regime has taken over, it has been nothing but conflict, turmoil, and all kinds of hot-button issues taking place before the world, and it's all part of design, obviously, to usher in the Great Reset. So President Donald Trump putting himself out there say, hey, I'll help bring this to a peace. So let's go and dive into what we have here. Coming to us from the Post-Millennial says Trump calls for peace, offers to broker deal between us, Russia, and Ukraine to end the war. See, this is problem though. The US government doesn't want the war to end. This is a big event that should entail a big solution. At least not yet. The Russia-Ukraine catastrophe should never have happened, and would definitely not have happened if I were president, said Trump. Following reports on Tuesday that Nord Stream pipelines traveling across the Baltic Sea were leaking, with European officials pointing to sabotage as a likely reason, former President Donald Trump called for a negotiation deal to get done. And for the American leaders to remain calm. U.S. leadership should remain cool, calm, and dry. On the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipelines, Trump wrote on the social media platform Truth Social. Here's what he said. Again, U.S. leadership should remain cool, calm, and dry on the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipelines. This is a big event. That should not entail a big solution. At least not yet. The Russia-Ukraine catastrophe should never have happened, and would definitely not have happened if I were president. Do not make matters worse with the pipeline, blow up beach. Strategic, be smart, brilliant. Get a negotiated deal done. Now. Both sides need and want it, the entire world is at stake. I will head up group do not make. So everyone is talking about the big hurricane barreling into Florida, as they should be. But perhaps far more important event is the longer term. It was the announcement of Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines out of Russia, which I brought to the world's attention as president when I explained how crippling reliance on it could be for Germany and other parts of Europe. Trump also wrote, everyone laughed at a time, but they're not laughing anymore, has been sabotage. This could lead to major escalation, or war. And Trump is absolutely right. And in all of these counts, I have theorized on Twitter earlier today, that if the United States government was acting in concert with sabotaging those pipelines, what a perfect time to do it, a time when all the eyes of the sheep are on the hurricane that's barreling toward my great state of Florida while they cover up the pipeline sabotaging that took place. Brilliant, right? Well, yesterday House Democrat Tim Ryan, who is running for U.S. Senate, he's a congressman, but he's currently running for the Senate seat in Ohio against Trump and Doors. Katie Vance, said that he was able to attend the proceedings in the House chambers due to ongoing public health emergency, and he had someone else vote for him. Actually, he tweeted out, I am unable to physically attend proceedings in the House chamber due to ongoing public health emergency. And I hereby grant the authority to cast my vote by proxy to the Honorable Representative Madeleine Dean, Pennsylvania, who has agreed to serve as my proxy. Now, this proxy voting scheme is totally against the Constitution, but of course, the hell, they're Democrats, they don't care about the laws and the Constitution, or whatever, they're supposed to have a quorum present and vote on things. They never said that a representative in Pennsylvania could vote and on behalf of an Ohio representative. I mean, that person is not designated. Madeleine Dean was not voted by the people of Ohio to represent their interests. Anyway, Tim Ryan claimed you skipped work yesterday due to the ongoing public health emergency, but he actually headed to California to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars from Hollywood elites. That is absolutely incredible. I mean, What a bold-faced lie. Did he think he's not gonna get caught? He lied to Congress. He arrived in California yesterday to collect Hollywood cash. Quote, determined to keep the Democratic congressional majority in the November midterms, a group of Hollywood-esque type people who care about politics is throwing its support behind the U.S. Senate campaign of Congressman Tim Ryan of Ohio. Ryan, who is currently running against Donald Trump, acolyte, J.D. Vance, for an open U.S. Senate seat is expected to raise well over $100,000. That super agent case shows West Side House on Wednesday night. Shores Azores, who was recently promoted to the position of vice chairman and board member at United Talent Agency, told The Root this agency that the Ohio race is certainly one of the most, if not the most important Senate race where Democrats can pick up a seat. So Tim Ryan was an out due to the Wu flu. And he says, I'm reading. This is the letter that he sent to Cheryl Johnson, the clerk of the House. I'm unable to physically attend proceedings in the House due to the ongoing public health emergency. I guess he's saying, I guess he didn't lie. He said he is not physically going to be there and he's unable to attend because Nancy Pelosi said it's an ongoing health emergency. What a sack king liar. Alright, folks, let's get into Trump news, and we've got quite a bit of it. The FBI admitted in court recently that it had misrepresented the number of documents that I had taken from President Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago, Florida. An FBI supervisor attested in court in a court document filed earlier this week that the inventory of documents seized from Mar-a-Lago was wrong. Now, if you recall, I reported that. Dearie, the special master said, hey, look, you have got to make sure the government told the government you got to make sure that what you said you took is on the list. And if there's nothing on the list, you got to add it to the list, etc. You know. So because Trump was making claims, and he's making claims that I'm sure they are true. President Trump has been proven time and time again that when he says something or makes some sort of accusation, it turns out to be true, that they planted information, they may have added stuff. Okay. So on Monday this week, they filed an inventory of documents seized from Mar-a-Lago, and so that it was wrong. Now, they redacted the people involved, and it's very interesting how they named everyone that has to do with Trump or Circle. They put their polish of names out there with make accusations with no evidence or proof, but they protect their own. Don't they? Let's go to the Epoch Times, who reported 63 additional documents or photographs without classification markings were taken from Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort than previously listed by the FBI. The revised inventory was submitted on orders from U.S. District Judge Raymond Dearie. A Reagan-appointed who is inserted in the case as a special master. Dearie ordered a government official with sufficient knowledge of the matter to submit a declaration or affidavit stating whether the detailed property inventory released on September 2 represents the full and accurate extent of the property seized from Trump's home. The supervisory special agent who know there is because they redacted it and are being protected. Fulfill the order. The agent, who is based in Washington, said he or she leads a squad of special agents, and that the early inventory was performed by the agent and workers under their direction, but want to make sure the inventory was accurate. I and the FBI personnel working under my direction conducted an additional review and recount of these materials in order to make this declaration. And the Epoch Times did a review of it, and they are now publishing that the list show the differences include 63 non-classified documents or photographs being added to the total the FBI said it had seized. Also, the new list contains 2 fewer magazines, newspapers, press articles, and 2 fewer empty folders with classified banners. So that means that some of that said were empty actually had some stuff in it. Or maybe they stuffed those folders, who knows. So the boxes seized from the Trump's home were said to contain more documents now. Others were said to contain few. Now, if the update is correct, check this out. This means that the government has seized over 11,200 non-classified and materials from Mar-a-Lago. Under the penalty of perjury, the agent said that they were not aware of any document or other materials seized from Trump's homes are not listed in the updated inventory, with the exception of materials taken by the government's filter team. Okay. Now this is developing as of late last night. The legal team actually claims that the Biden DOJ misled the court and actually has seized 200,000 pages of documents from Mar-a-Lago. Now I first see this on like 11,200 versus 2 in 1,000 as quite a difference. Here's the thing. One is listing documents. The other one is listing pages 11,200 documents totaling about 200,000 pages. Now, here is the problem that President Trump is having once again due to the evil, wicked, vile, treasonous traitors, rat bastards at the FBI, the DOJ and the courts at the federal level. Now, Deary, and others, they gave a time frame to President Trump's legal team to scan all the documents so they can have them scanned electronically, so they can actually do something about this. Well, no one wants to fulfill the order. No one wants to take on the job for Trump. First of all, they get cancelled. Any company that wants to work a whip or for Trump gets cancelled. Attorneys want to work for Trump, they get disbarred. I mean, the lawlessness is off the charts. It's off the chain. It's crazy. Whatever the cool kids are saying now. At the status conference before the special master, the plates I suggested that the dates put forth in the draft case management plan was unlikely to prove feasible in terms of both the likely sort of the document flow and the man-hours necessary to review the more than 11,000 pages or documents. These are the documents that have to be scanned. The problem is compounded by the fact that when the plaintiff's counsel referred to either 11,000 pages or even 11,000 documents during the status conference, by the way, we still have a transcript for that. The government chose not to interject with an accurate number. In conversations between plaintiff's counsel and the government regarding a data vendor, the government mentioned that the 11,000 documents contained closer to 200,000 pages. And Trump's lawyers are saying that the time frame to scan these documents is too narrow. And, quote, in short, seasoned IT professionals who eternally work on large-scale document productions with the government cannot meet the government's proposed schedule. Like they're trying to screw Trump over and his legal team over and over again, several ways ago. Yeah. You've got to get it done, I think was by November, I can't remember exact date. And the IT professionals say we're not going to take it on because we can't do it in that time frame. So the Trump legal team is asking for an extension, and not just an extension, and arbitrarily picking a time frame. But check this out. The plaintiff respectfully suggests that, Your Honor, and the parties will be best served by having the retained vendor convey a supportable timeframe for scanning roughly 200,000 pages into our platform, and also provide a breakdown of rollout quantities and proposed deadlines. That's what they said in their filing yesterday on Wednesday. It will be better to base deadlines on actual data, and not wistful claims by the government. Wow. So I've been saying 11,000 documents and never giving Trump his people a real number. And now that the real number and those 11,000 are actually about 200,000 pages. Wow. That's a huge difference, is it not? Okay, we're not done with President Trump news. President Trump had a pre-recorded interview on a shell. Okay. During an appearance on Sunday, 7 WABC Radio, Trump was asked by host John Catsimatidis what things keep you up at night. And this is what President Trump said. I think more than anything else, I think we could end up in World War III. And it could be all of the horrible things that took place in Ukraine. Looks like it's going to happen in China with Taiwan. And as you know, you see what's going on over there. And of course, President Trump alluded to Putin's speech last week when Putin said he would use all means at his disposal to protect Russia and our people. Trump went on to say, I think we're at the most dangerous time maybe in many, many years, maybe ever, because of the power of nuclear. Trump said that we are closer and closer to a nuclear World War III than we've ever been in decades. For a major President Trump continued saying for a major nation that's equaled us on nuclear power to be throwing around the word cavalierly like nuclear is a very bad time. A very bad time for this country and a very bad and a very dangerous time for the world. He went on to say other things like he's said before, for instance, that Putin wouldn't have invaded Ukraine earlier this year, how he'd been president. Very, very interesting stuff. Okay, not done with President Trump yet, either. He's got more to say. President Trump warned that World War III could erupt over Ukraine or Taiwan beyond Republican or Democrat. I want to see somebody that's great. He said Russian President Vladimir Putin's threat of unleashing nuclear power made this a very, very bad and dangerous time, which I just went over with you. But here's where it also gets interesting. He said, in what I just told you before, that you think Putin would have invaded Ukraine had even President, quote, I get along with him very well, I spoke to him, I understand him. He understood me probably, But I understand him. Well, I understood him well, and he never would have. He would never have done it. He would have never done it. And then President Trump went on to say all the things that don't make sense, the open border, and all the decisions being made by Biden and his crew, which of course is all by design. They are not in any way, shape, or form accidents. And then we've got this, folks. President Trump has offered to step in and mediate a peace deal. And President Trump has mediated peace deals before. This time he wants to go between Russia, Ukraine and the US. This is what he truth out. US leadership. When I go air quotes, this is what this is. Our President Trump wrote it. US leadership should remain cool, calm and dry on the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipelines. This is a big event. That should not entail a big solution, at least not yet. The Russia-Ukraine strategy catastrophe should never have happened and would definitely not have happened if I were president. Do not make matters worse with the pipeline blow up. Be strategic, be smart, brilliant. Get a negotiated deal done now. Both sides need and want it. The entire world is at stake. I will head up Group 3 ? There we go, folks. That's a lot of Trump news. Trump has been very busy and he's not even the Oval Office. Matter of fact, if you see how busy President Trump's been, seems like he's busier than the guy we're told got 81 million votes as he has vacation like 40% of his time in office. Man, I can't wait. So Trump is back. And we're way beyond Keep America Great. President Trump has the name of his organization correct. It's high time we save America. Thank you very much. WWG1WGA. Give me your thoughts.